Hello, good morning. My name is Izzie. Thank you so much for joining me today. This session is dedicated to the steps towards headstand. A lot of people think that headstand is really inaccessible, but actually there's a few steps you can take to slowly come to that position over time. Word of caution, as usual, please make sure that this is safe, this practice is safe for you, and check with your GP, especially for headstand. If you have any high blood pressure condition, eyes condition, please don't attempt headstand. That's simply not good in those conditions. Ensure that you've got no issues with your neck, as it can put pressure on the neck. So ensure that really this is safe for you. So what you will need today, you will need some blocks at some point, and also some padding for the head, because not a lot of people are really used to having that pressure on the head. So before we start, coming to seated position, bringing the hands on top of the knees, just taking a few moments to really arrive in the practice, being ready in your mind and in your body. So closing the eyes. Taking one big inhale through the nose and releasing a big sigh through the mouth. Sending a message to the mind, to the body, that it's now time to arrive. Tuning in with the breath, with the body. And engaging the Ujjayi breath, creating the sound with the breath. Making the sound of the breath your companion for today's practice. On the next inhale, gently opening the eyes, keeping a soft gaze, bringing movement to the breath. Inhale, lifting the arms to the ceiling, looking up. Exhale, folding forward, hands on the mat. Inhale, lifting the chest, lifting the arms, looking up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lifting the chest, lifting the arms, looking up. Exhale, folding forward. On the next inhale, coming back to the center, right arm goes up. Exhale, tipping to the left, creating a long stretch on the right side. Turning the face towards the ceiling. Inhale, back to the center, left arm lifted. Exhale, tipping to the right, looking up. Inhale, back to the center, right arm goes up. Exhale, tipping to the left. Inhale, back to the center, left arm lifted. Exhale, tipping to the right. And on the next inhale, back to the center, stretch the legs. Give the legs a little tap here just to release the knees, the ankles, the hips. And then once again, crossing the legs, rocking forward, coming onto all four. Few breaths for cats and cow, a few cycles of cats and cow here. Inhale, dropping the tummy, arching the back, looking ahead. Exhale, starting with the pelvis, rounding up the back all the way to the shoulders. Chin comes to the chest. Inhale, dropping the tummy, looking ahead. Exhale, rounding up the back. Feel free to add a little bit of rocking motion here, back and forth, keeping the back rounded. Notice the sensation this creates. Inhale, dropping the tummy. Exhale, rounding up the back. Inhale, dropping the tummy. Exhale, rounding up the back. Inhale, back to the center. Stepping the hands a little bit further out in front of you. One inhale here, exhale, sinking the chest towards the mat, pushing the armpits towards the mat, extended puppy. Nice long breath here. On the next inhale, lifting back up, coming to rest onto the heels, sitting on the heels for a moment, adding a little bit of motion for the shoulders, resting the hands on the thighs. Now, making sure we warm up the neck. Inhale, lifting the chin towards the ceiling, creating length in the front of the neck. Exhale, chin down, creating space in the back of the neck. Inhale, chin up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, back down. Inhale, back to the center, looking ahead. Exhale, turning the head to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Coming back to the center with your own time, your own pace, gently creating circling motion here with the neck. Nice long breath. And then coming back to the center, placing the hands behind the ears. Inhale, pushing the chest towards the ceiling, arching the back, looking up, elbows out. Exhale, closing the elbows at the front, fingertips on the back of the head, gently pulling down, folding forward, all the way down until the elbows can touch the ground. Inhale, opening up, lifting up, opening the elbows. Exhale, closing down, all the way down. Inhale, lift, opening up. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift, opening up. Exhale, back to the center, back onto all four, tucking the toes under, ready to lift into downward facing dog. Inhale, lifting the hips to the ceiling, making sure the fingers are spread out, big toes pointing towards each other. Feel free to bend one leg at a time here. Nice long breath. And then finding stillness here in downward facing dog, making sure the back is nice and straight. Your heels might be off the ground, maybe your knees are a bit bent. That's all right. Making sure you need to do anything you need to keep the back nice and straight. On the next exhale, slowly releasing the knees down on the ground and sitting on the heels once again. Now is a good time to bring that towel, little thin cushion, whatever you need, placing it at the front. And before we start anything, take your block. Just want to demonstrate which part of the head is actually resting on the floor when you come to headstand. So if you place the block on top of your head, right, and balance the block on top of your head, now focusing the mind of where this is, where you feel the sensation. This is the part of the head that needs to come down on the floor when you are down doing headstand, right? So it's not the front, it's not the back, it's really here, the top of the head where you can balance that block. All right, putting it back down. Now, for a lot of you, if this is the first time you're attempting to go down in inversion for headstand, it might feel quite daunting. You might be scared that you're going to topple over and hurt yourself. So feel free to make sure you're like placed right in front of the wall. So imagine the wall is here, right in front of the mat. Place your cushion here or whatever, your towel. Make sure you've got a tiny little bit of space though, to allow your back to open up and go against the wall. So you don't want to be really stuck against the wall. You want a little bit of space so the bum can go back a tiny bit and rest against the wall. This is what normally happens when you're lifting the legs into headstand. Your back will lean a little bit, the weight of your bum goes down, and that's basically what makes the legs go up. So make sure you've got a little bit of space between you and the wall. Not too much, obviously, not so much that you're going to actually fall over. So feel free to make sure you've got the wall in front of you. Now, the blocks, placing the blocks basically on either side of your legs here when you're sitting down on your heels, that you might need to move them up and down at some point, see what works for you. So the first thing we do to come down into headstand, grabbing hold of opposite elbows here, and then placing your forearms, so you need maybe to readjust a little bit, placing the forearms down onto the ground, and then opening up your arms, placing your hands on top of each other. So they're making a little bit of a place for your head to rest. When you're in that position, and making sure your hands are resting on that cushion. When you've got your hands inside each other, so creating that triangle position with the elbows and the hands, gently coming down to place the top of the head inside your hands. You may want to interlace your fingers here. Actually don't, because we'll come into tripod, so forget that. So coming down here, so you should be able to see your knees. You might want to bring the knees a little bit more out. Just resting here for a moment. Now noticing where your elbows are. Make a mental note, and then placing the hands more or less where the elbows were. So this is the first step. Tucking the toes under now, inhale, pushing the hips up, and then maybe walking the feet towards you. So at that point, you'll probably start feeling that pressure on top of the head. Maybe that's all you need to do today, simply to get used to that pressure happening on the top of the head. Nice long breath. Elbows tucked in, so not making sure the elbows are directly above your wrists. Nice long breath. And then when you're done, walking the feet away, gently release the knees down, and then pushing back up very slowly. Nice long breath. Maybe that's all you want to do today, and that's fine. If that's enough for you today, just make sure you release the neck. Little movement of the neck here. Rolling the shoulders out. Nice long breath. But maybe you're ready for the next step. Once again, rubbing out of opposite elbows, resting the elbows down, open the arms, hands on top of each other. Place the head inside your hands. Look at where the elbows are. Place the hands where the elbows were. Lift as you inhale, and then walking the feet towards you. Elbows are nice and active here. So that's where you see the blocks. So maybe you want to bring the feet on top of the blocks. What that does, that will lift the hips directly above your shoulders. And that's what you need really to come into headstand. From here, feel free to bend one leg, bring one knee on top of your elbow, and then switch side. Bend the other leg, knee to the elbow on the triceps, and then switch side. And maybe at some point, both knees will come down and rest on top of your triceps. Nice long breath here. And that's it. You're literally in headstand. Exhale, slowly releasing the feet. Back onto the floor. Walk the feet away. Knees down. Gently coming back up. Nice long breath here once again. Releasing the neck. Adding a little bit of motion for the neck. Rolling the shoulders. So when you're down in tripod with your elbows creating a 90-degree angles, hands resting on the floor to support you. So when you are in that position, really making sure you're engaging the shoulders and the arms, so pushing the arms so that you're lifting the weight on the arms, not making sure you're not resting all the weight onto the neck. Nice long breath here. Adding a little bit of motion. And you can do this exercise as many times as you wish until you're nice and comfortable. Again, feel free to use a wall behind you for support to make sure you're nice and supported and you've got no risk of tipping over onto the other side. All right. Last exercise, if you want to go one step further in your journey towards headstand. Once again, grabbing hold of opposite elbows, resting the forearms down on the ground. You can bring the knees out a little bit. Open your arms, hands on top of each other. This time, actually, we're going to keep the hands here. So feel free to interlace your fingers here for nice and support. So slightly different from the tripod. Once again, placing the hands in the head inside your hands. Elbows are tucked in, you can see them. Once again, tucking the toes under. Inhale, lifting the hips, walking the feet towards you. So you may realize that actually having the hands here for support creates a little bit more support than you had when you were in tripod. Once again, feel free to pop the feet on top of the blocks. Nice long breath here. And then maybe bring one knee towards the chest and then the next. Just bend one leg, bend the other. And then at some point, maybe both feet off the ground, tucking the knees to the chest. And then exhale back down. On the way down, release the knees on the ground. Gently coming back to sit on the heels. We can move the block, move the cushion, and just a little bit of a drill to release the neck. Once again, gentle circling motion of the neck. Nice long breath here. Coming onto all four, crossing the lower part of the legs, rolling back. And then lying on the ground, we're going to come into fish pose, which is really good to counteract the position of headstand for the neck. With the legs spread and stretched, actually bending the legs first, and bringing the hands right underneath the sacrum. So stacking up the hands on top of each other, and then resting the sacrum on top of the hands. Stretch the legs here, feet together, nice and active on the next inhale, lifting the chest, using the elbows to lift, and then resting the top of the head on the ground. Chest lifted towards the ceiling, fish pose. Nice long breath. On the next exhale, slowly bringing the head back down, bend the legs, lift the hips, release the hands, bringing the knees to the chest. And then placing the hands behind your knees. Inhale, rolling up, and then using the next few breaths to roll back, up and down, creating a little bit of a massage for the back. And on the next way up, coming back to seated position, cross-legged. Nice long breath here, resting the hands on top of the knees, closing the eyes, and allowing the breath to come back to a natural pace. Now gently opening the eyes, bringing the hands in prayer pose. I hope you've enjoyed this session. As I said, you can use these drills as often as you want until you are comfortable for the next level up. And I hope you will start building confidence to come into headstand. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you soon again. Take care. Bye-bye.